Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody, wherever you are. Welcome to our show. This is episode 11 of the Vegan World 2026 podcast, Moonshot of our generation. And today's episode, we are going to be talking about Enlightening Our Way Together event that is going to start this Friday. And this is such an incredible event that John Raymer and Brother Phil Lane and Adriana Alvarez, and so many people have gotten together to make this happen. And we have a few of them here with our show on our show today. And if you think about what is happening with the COVID-19 pandemic, you see we have two options. One option is to do a mass vaccination of people with vaccines that are developed by for-profit corporations who have been given indemnity from any liability for what happens, and then hope that the side effects of the vaccine are not worse than the virus itself, and continue to abuse animals, continue to invite more pandemics, continue with the same old system. Or take matters into our own hands, heal ourselves with healthy immune boosting food, stop abusing animals, give them respect, give them decency, give them right to life that's free from harm and torture from human beings, and solve this problem once and for all so that we don't have to keep getting these pandemics. And I'm happy to say that the indigenous nations of the world have chosen option B. And they're coming together in this event starting Friday for 11 days to talk about how we are going to heal ourselves and create a new way of living, a new fire that's being lit. So let me introduce our guests here. Is Adriana Alvarez from Mexico, John Raymer, and Jamen Shively, both from Whidbey Island, Washington. And so here they are, the ones who are making this happen. So thank you so much for being here and for talking to us about this event. So John, let me start with you. How did this come about in the first place? How did you think about this, and how did this happen?
Well, the truth is I've been privileged to be in service to Hereditary Chief Phil Lane Jr. For the last 12 years. He and I have worked together. And there are many prophecies, and I'm learning more and more about them every day, that said there would be a time when the world would come to honor and recognize the wisdom of the indigenous world. And that we would turn to these people to guide us in how we treat ourselves and how we treat the earth. And sure enough, in 1989, Chief Phil started this process to build the Global Center of Indigenous Sciences and Ancestral Wisdom. And there are thousands and thousands and thousands of plants in the Amazon jungle that could be cultivated and used for healing purposes. We're just so naive, and we don't understand what we're doing in destroying the Amazon and destroying the earth. So one event led to another event, this year being the holiday unlike any we've ever seen, with the virus impacting all of us this way. We realize that it's time to come together. And we are actually lighting that eighth fire, this global fire, to bring light to a world that's ready for change. And making the case for being a vegan is all part of this. As we've been so honored to work with you, Silas, and your team, and what's happening here. And Adriana, who's been guiding, and the whole prophecy of the reunion of the condor and the quetzal and the eagle. These are things that we're living to see in our lifetime. And it's inspiring and it's invigorating. And the idea of immune boosting healthy food as a remedy for what the situation is calling for makes so much sense. So it's a privilege to be a part of this. It's going to be an 11-day we call convergence. People are invited to come online. If they go to globalfire.earth, that's the website where people can engage and learn more about it and participate. We want all voices from all over to be heard, but in particular, this is being led by the indigenous leaders, and I'm acting in service to them. And one of those wise leaders is Adriana Alvarez, Damian, who's with us this morning. As is Jamen here, partnering to have the conversation.cc be a space that people can go to throughout the 11 days.
Awesome. Adriana, tell us about the eighth fire and the prophecy that the indigenous people are
Thank you so much.
bringing to us. Yeah.
Thank you, John, and thank you, Jamen, for being here this morning to share and to get together, enlightening our way together for this coming year and this coming unification and lighting the eighth fire with all our indigenous relatives. And for me today, it's very important to recognize that if only we can go back to our identity of each one of our peoples and take Mother Earth as our mother, as our sacred home, we will understand the sacredness of us as human beings and our relatives, the animals, the four legs, the winged, the
Right.
even the bacteria. And when we understand that sacredness and that wholeness, then we will start practicing that connection and that thankfulness to our mother and to our father sun and to our grandmother the moon. And that is the message from our elders. The process has been really long because when we were conquered, we were pushed down under the ground. But it was only a process because we are seeds that now we're flowering in every of our prophecies and every of our understanding of the messages of our grandparents. So thank you so much. For me, that is one of the most important messages of our getting together, coming back together, respecting each other identity and enriching our souls and spirits by recognizing our Mother Earth as our source of life and sacredness.
Thank you. That was so beautiful. Yes, I know. I've been in awe of nature, Mother Earth, and how, as a systems engineer, I was looking at a forest in the Western Ghats, and I was saying I couldn't even get to 0.1% of the perfection of this nature, and so this is why I think we also belong in this grand plan. We are part of this grand plan, and so we are going to regenerate Earth. And of course, a lot of that has to do with the conversation we have, like the conversation we're having now. And so, Jamen, your contribution to the 11 days is to have an ongoing conversation for people to come and engage in. Yes. Please tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Silas. Thank you, John. Thank you, Adriana. We might need to mute some microphones because we're hearing a little typing in the background there. But indeed, the conversation is really, is really the heart of it. This is how we humans come together and sort stuff out in conversation. In fact, Adriana, as you well know, we have a saying in Mexico: "Hablando se entiende la gente." Talking is how people understand each other. Now, it seems obvious. So, why do you have a saying for something that's obvious? It's because we so often forget, right? And we go into our own head and we make up stories. Silas, he's this way. He's closed-minded. He's this. He's that. Da 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 da. And the next thing you know, I'm not talking to Silas, and he's not talking to me, and we're making up stories about each other. So, by coming together, that's how we sort things out. Because the reality is, we've got one big messy kitchen to sort out here, right? It's not like, oh, just wash a couple dishes and everything will be fine. No, the whole thing is just stacked. You can hardly walk. It's like we're so trapped in our current systems, in our current colonial culture, in our current colonial diet and per capita and raising animals and slaughter and all that. And so to sort it out, we need to come together. And I thank you, John, for your leadership in bringing us all together consistently. And, so what there is to do is have the conversations. Now that we're coming together, we need to have the conversation. And thank you, Silas, for leading one of the most important conversations on earth, which is transforming our diet. Now, Silas and I work together every Friday for 4 hours. We meet 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the evening, and everyone's invited. Everyone, the world is invited. That's an ongoing conversation about feeding everyone plant-based foods called food healers. And so I see a huge opportunity to accomplish two major goals at once: feed everyone plant-based foods, and therefore train the world to eat plant-based, like literally produce and deliver the foods to everyone, end hunger, end malnutrition. But again, the first step to both of these is conversation. So we're going to be having a 24/7 open conversation campfire in the conversation.cc in support of Enlightening Our Way Together, which John is leading. And happy to answer any questions. Very happy to be here. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you for that, Jamen. And now I'm going to add Shalu Nijawan from India, Sharan, India. Hi, Shalu. Thank you for being here. And Sharan India is an organization that helps people transition from the way they're eating now to eating whole food plant-based diet, because there is a process. Especially if you have diabetes and you're taking all this medication, there's a process by which we need to transition. So Shalu, welcome. Tell us a bit about that, and tell us about the Sharan's 21-day program.
Yeah. So basically, Sharan stands for Sanctuary for Health and Reconnection to Animals and Nature. So what we are trying to do at Sharan is we are trying to make people aware that the plant-based diet is the best diet if you want to prevent or reverse any kind of lifestyle diseases. So generally, when you talk to people about animal cruelty, animal suffering, or how animal agriculture is affecting the environment, our climate, our planet, they don't sometimes find a personal connection to it, because they have this idea that it's happening somewhere else. It's not happening right now, right here. So sometimes that connection is not there. But when you connect it to their own personal health, then they immediately find the connection. Once they heal themselves of a particular disease, then they know that, yes, this is the right way to do. And even with myself, I had very bad immunity. And the moment I shifted to a plant-based lifestyle, like I used to eat a lot of meat and a lot of dairy products. So my immunity was very bad. The moment I was able to get my immunity back, I felt such a deep connection with, my perspective towards life changed completely, that each and every action that I'm doing is having a larger impact. And that is exactly what I'm seeing with my patients now. I also do holistic nutrition consultations. I help people get reverse their diseases, get rid of their medicines. So now I see that the moment they see a personal benefit, a personal health benefit, they also connect with what other positive things are happening around the choices that they make. They connect more to animals. They learn more about how animals are suffering. And then the chain starts. When they start feeling so connected to it, they want to spread the word, and then the chain starts there. So like Sharan is doing a lot of different programs. Sailesh, can I share my screen and just
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
it's a short slide I wanted to share.
You should be able to.
Yeah. Okay, so Is it visible? Can you see the slides?
Hold on a second. Let me add to the stream. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Sharan was founded by Dr. Nandita Shah around 15 years ago. And she is also the recipient of the highest civilian honor of the country by the President of India, which is the Nari Shakti Puraskar. And she's trying to heal a lot of people just with the help of whole plant-based organic food. And we do this with, I'm not able to move this to the next slide. I'm stuck. Okay, my screen is stuck. I'm so sorry.
You can go ahead and speak to it,
Okay, yeah. So could you please stop the share?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, now I can't see anything on the screen, but yeah, I'll just, so now what we do at Sharan is that we train doctors, dietitians, and nutritionists to do consultations where they suggest food as medicine. Okay. Can you see my slides now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Yeah. So we train doctors through a whole plant-based nutritional consultation workshop where they are taught how to do consultations with patients so that they can address all the health issues only with the help of plant-based nutrition and no medicines are required. And similarly, we also train facilitators to conduct cooking classes, which are all around healthy cooking, only plant-based food, only whole foods, only organic foods. And that has a huge impact because once you learn how to make your food delicious, then it becomes much more sustainable because you're not missing out on any of the foods which you used to have earlier. So then it becomes sustainable and you enjoy the process. So all kinds of cuisines, different kinds of foods, the use of millets, and a variety of things we teach in our cooking classes. And we also conduct specific programs like the gut healing program, how to grow microgreens, WhatsApp series, programs in Hindi. Then we also address the mental blocks which people have while they are shifting to a plant-based lifestyle. We teach them how to practice affirmations, how to form healthy habits. And then we have our plant-based basic cooking online certificate course and a 6-week to health gain and weight loss course, which is all online. And the most popular program which we have is a 21-day online diabetes reversal program. And it is so easy to follow. Like any person who registers for this, it's very reasonably priced also. And if you really want to reverse your disease and you're open to make certain diet and lifestyle changes, it's super simple. There are pre-recorded videos which will teach you how to transform normal cooking into healthy cooking. And you learn all the healthy alternatives, all the plant-based alternatives of the regular foods that you eat, like cheese, curds, and all that. And you can do this course at your own pace. You don't have to finish it in 21 days. You can repeat the classes, repeat the days where you weren't able to follow properly. And in a way, it also prepares your mind for the transition. It helps you set your own personal goals, track your progress. It helps bust all the myths, which we have in our mind due to the conditioning. And you can learn how to interpret your blood test results, how to overcome your addictions. And at the end of the program, we offer the patients to enroll for a consultation with a Sharan doctor to reduce or to remove the medicines if they have already healed. And a lot of people heal at the end of the 21 days of this program. So either they can go to their own doctor to get rid of the medicines, or they can consult a Sharan doctor and reduce the medications. So that is our 21-day online diabetes reversal program. And in fact, this program is so good, it works even for other lifestyle diseases like hypertension. It works very well.
Awesome. Yeah. So, but during the process, during the 21 days, do they have to reduce their medication, or is it only at the end that they have to do that?
So most people need to reduce the medicines just almost after 1 week of following this, because it's so effective. And that is why every day, at the end of every day of the 21 days, you need to fill up a form where you track your progress. You have to do a sugar test at home, and you have to write down the numbers, and then you're guided how to get the medicines reduced, but with a doctor's consent, because you shouldn't be doing it yourself. You need a doctor to help you to do that. So yes, you consult your own practitioner, or you consult a Sharan practitioner, and they'll help you to reduce the medicines.
Awesome. We seem to have lost Adriana. Okay. I think she's coming back. There you are. So, Adriana, from the perspective of the indigenous community, would a program like this be helpful for making the transformation?
I totally believe if we could kind of like adapt to their lifestyle and their culture, it would definitely help. What we are working on is to help people come back to the original practices of doing the organic grow of their milpa, we call it in Mexico. It's the three sisters in North America. So
Right.
maize, it's a sacred plant, and we believe that maize it was the whole human beings were created through maize through so for us it is sacred, and that's how we treat it. But with all the incoming of the Monsanto seeds and all the fertilizers and all the poison that the industrialized world has brought to our communities, we are struggling because they cannot even get the same source of energy from their own corn as they used to, because it's not being organic anymore as we used to grow our corn. So we are working very hard on really come back to the ancestral practices and combine a good source of the older superfoods that we used to have, like roots like macal, and all this has to be a whole process of coming back to our identity and understanding. Of course, an educational program like yours can be adapted to our communities, and it would be wonderful and very helpful, because we also have to fight against all the industrialized food who has been brought deep into our culture, and now we are suffering high levels of diabetes, because in every little town, no matter how far from in the mountains, there is Coca-Cola, there is Bimbo, there is all this industrialized garbage that I cannot even call food. I apologize. But I think that we can definitely work together if we can adapt that beautiful program of this organization to our culture and to our identity and to the practices that we are coming back to the heart, and the practice of coming back to understand that we are one with Mother Earth. And one of the elders' message is that we have to work in reciprocity. Like the plants take care of us if we take care of the plants. The animals take care of us when we take care of the animals. The water take care of us when we take care of the water. So reciprocity is one of the messages that we need to bring back into from our ancestral memory and put it to practice.
So beautiful, Adriana. I mean, I'm sure we'll be hearing more from you during the 11 days, because I need to hear you speak.
Absolutely.
Longer.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all you do.
Yeah. So, John, what is the process for getting presentations on the 11 days, and what exactly happens during the 11 days?
Yeah. Well, there's two parts. There's the Global Center of Indigenous Sciences and Ancestral Wisdom. You know, Shalu, I think it might be you typing. I don't know who it is. Okay. Perfect, Adriana. Thank you, Shalu. Thank you. It wasn't you. Sorry. I guessed. And connected to that is this Global Digital Commission for Justice and Healing. So the fire, the globalfire.earth is the website, and people are invited to bring their offerings to the fire. And there will be a Zoom room dedicated for this global fire ceremony, that we're all waking up to this moment. And we're inviting an indigenous-led expression of this is the Global Center and this event. So I'm acting as an ally in service to our indigenous leaders who say this is the moment to light the eighth fire. This is the moment for all of the earth to recognize that if we don't change our direction, we're going to wind up where we're headed. It's beautifully, like you said, it is a moonshot. This is going to, you know, call us to make what seems to be impossible possible. But this is a time for that. Who would have thought a little virus that we can't even see could bring the world to its feet and humble us like this? So the vision is that people are invited to come and participate in dialogue and conversation, not only hosted by the conversation.cc that Yamen's leading, but there'll be a room dedicated to the Global Fire Ceremony that people can go to globalfire.earth and say, we have something to offer to the fire. And their presentations will be scheduled. There's a stewards for that room, the Global Fire Ceremony room. And then there's also the work of the Global Center of Indigenous Sciences and Ancestral Wisdom and this Global Digital Commission for Justice and Healing. And there'll be presentations there. And we're going to do simultaneous translation in English and Spanish, the first time for us to be able to do that in Zoom rooms. So we are really looking to unite the world in unprecedented ways. And this is the moment for us. And we feel the holidays in particular this year, where so many of us are locked down or quarantined, but that through the digital world, we can connect and build an authentic spiritual bond and emotional commitment to move forward and, in fact, achieve the moonshot of our generation. So this is going to be an event unlike any others, starting on the 11th, going through the 22nd. There's all this astrological conjunctions happening. So many signs are telling us that this is the right time to pull out all the stops, if you will, and really move ourselves forward in unprecedented unified action.
So what are these astrological signs, Adriana? What is happening now that's different from any other time?
You're muted, Adriana.
You're muted.
Unmute. You are muted. We want to hear you.
Adriana.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Here we are. Yes, Brother Phil has been talking to us about this moment that when this astrological process is happening, Jesus was born, Muhammad was born, and all these great leaders, spiritual leaders were born. And now it's happening again. And we have talked about it between our peoples, and we even believe that the humanity is being born in this incredible astrological alignment again. So it is the oneness of our times that it's being born in our hearts, in our minds, and with this global consciousness, we can reborn into one body, one mind, one spirit, where we are all collaborating with each other, enlightening our way together. And this is the message from our brother Phil, always wanting to have the indigenous people brought back to the scene, because we have always been there, but we need to go back to this scene where we can be heard, where we can really share the treasures of our knowledge. And it could be from India, it could be from Asia, it could be from Mexico, from Peru. Our indigenous people have been as guardians of this knowledge. And this is the eighth fire, when we can all get together, sharing, respecting the identity of each other. Because when we understand the diversity between all amongst us, and we appreciate the different colors and the different ways, and we just keep on doing our own.
She jumped off there.
Yeah, we lost her. But
if folks are looking to Google it, it's the Great Conjunction. It's the Great Solstice Conjunction. Mm-hmm. It's rare that Jupiter and Saturn are so closely together. This hasn't happened since the Middle Ages. So if anyone's interested in understanding more about the astrological significance, Adriana, it's the Great Conjunction 2020, Jupiter and Saturn meeting on the solstice. That's part of why we feel this alignment is so prophetic.
Right, yeah. I mean, as Adriana said, in the past, it was Prophet Muhammad or Jesus or Buddha who were born. And, that was in the era when we were looking for a single leader to lead us out. And I think this is going to be the greatest transformation, because this is about all of us waking up. It's no longer a single leader. We have to look for one. But if I were to look for one, I would see it in my granddaughter, So to me,
there you go. Or Shalu. Maybe Shalu is the one. I don't know. I'll take all of us or any one of us. Anything to get out of that kitchen that Jamen was describing. That's a mess. We got to clean up. So anyone who's got a broom, if you show up with a mop and a pail, probably we'll unite.
Yeah, we have some cleaning up to do, and then regeneration work to do, and we have to literally change the way we do things, change the way we organize ourselves. And so, I'm looking forward to talking about that on the last day. So tell us about the last day and the significance of the last day, December 22nd.
And Adriana, if you don't mind muting your microphone, that'd be awesome.
Adriana is amazing. She's doing so many things. Thank God for that. Well, the vegan for a day. This is the challenge, because Silas, the world today, many people aren't vegan. So it's a journey. Mm-hmm. And we're saying, well, let's start with a day. If we can do one day, and we can maybe do 2 days. And so overcoming our fear, overcoming the judgments we have, and we're unaware, we want to make it easy. So I know there's going to be recipes shared throughout the 11 days, but then we're saying on that 11th day, let us all engage in the practice of actually being vegan for the day as a starting point towards making that journey. So wherever you are is fine where you are now. Let's journey together. Let's try it out and see what happens for a day. And maybe next thing you know, we'll continue and we'll get to the moon like we've promised your granddaughter by 2026.
Right. Yeah, in fact, I love the way you frame it as the day that shall not be followed by night. The fire shall burn eternally from that day onward.
Yes.
It's so beautiful. It's poetic. Yeah.
And that's Brother Phil. Phil is amazing. He is. And Master Ching Hai is going to be here as well. There'll be a number of folks who have really the depth of knowledge needed at this time to guide those of us who are, beginning the journey. So we're inviting everyone to be involved in the 11th day, to make this journey to be vegan for the day. And
so
continue.
Yes. And Supreme Ching Hai will be there. And is Dr. Jane Goodall going to be there too?
I don't know that she's confirmed yet, but she's close with Brother Phil. She's been invited.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it looks like an amazing event, Global Fire at Earth. So thank you all. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for bringing this to the community and helping us understand what we are trying to create here. And
well,
I'm looking forward to the day that shall not be followed by night, and the fire that will light us forever. So
beautiful.